August 29, 2022, and we're at the Beverly Hills Hilton Hotel for a grand occasion. This is organized by the African Democracy and Policy Initiative, ADPI. This is a lecture series, and our guest speaker, of all people, is who, my friend, Mr. John? Who is our guest speaker today?
Peter Obi,
okay.
The future president of Nigeria.
Okay, you hear it? Mr. Peter Obi, the future president of Nigeria, who is coming to bring us good governance. Today he's speaking to us on the role of Nigeria's diaspora in civic leadership. And we're very excited. And again, we're expecting over 1,000 people here. This is the first visit in the United States by Mr. Obi. He was just in Toronto, Canada, and he will stop here before he goes to any place else in the US. So it's in Beverly Hills, Los Angeles, and it's going to be a grand occasion. What we expect to get from it is learn from him, and then we're going to ask questions about tough issues concerning Nigeria to find solutions for good governance. Thank you, and we'll talk again. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That's good.
Your Excellency, our keynote speaker for the night, on behalf of African Democracy and Policy Initiative, I welcome all of us to this great evening. Let us jump straight on to the item for the night. Let us jump in straight on without wasting much of your time. I have the special honor at this moment to invite, for the opening prayers, Dr. Oladipo to lead us in that segment of the program. Thank you.
Let us bow our eyes and pray. Eternal Rock of Ages, great and manifold have been your blessings from ages past. From one man you made every nation of humanity to live all over the earth, fixing the national boundaries within which they live. You control the course of the world events, removing kings and setting up other kings. For all this we are grateful, and we stand in awe of you. Our dear nation is facing immense challenges. Politically,
we need to have the national anthem, Nigeria and America. And I have the special honor to invite to the mic Miss Deborah Olufa to do that special item in the program.
At the twilight lamps gleaming, whose birth stripes and Christ stars through the perilous flight. Oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming.
National anthem.
Arise, O compatriots, Nigeria's call obey.
Let our special guests know that Los Angeles people love you. Not even a church service will call this number on a Monday night. Pastors are here, they know. The members will tell you, Pastor, let's Zoom or send WhatsApp message. So we love you and we love the fact you're here. So to do the opening remarks and introduction for the ADPI executive, I'm going to invite to this microphone the president of ADPI, my friend, Pastor Barrister Moses Gabo. Please, let's give him a round of applause.
Let's put our hands together for all committee members. You see, they welcomed us and they checked us in. Governor Obi, Nigeria is a leading member among the nations of Africa. Blessed with over 200 million people, many of whom are in the diaspora. We believe that this is Nigeria's finest hour since independence. if we can galvanize and channel its human resources into nation building. Unfortunately, besides remittances, Nigerians in the diaspora have been left out for the most part in the development of our great nation.
We have a special talent here to entertain, Your Excellency. A lot of good people came here to listen to you. Apart from the talent we have singing at this moment, we also have one of Nigeria's finest musical brand in the house tonight, talking about a legend, Mr. Tony 1 Week. Please, let's give him a round of applause. He's here with us tonight. Thank you for coming. To do music while we eat, I'm going to call on a special voice, Miss or Mrs. Biodo Konya. Thank you.
For God's sake, America have its own share of billionaires. They move around. But not governor of California. We can no longer stay where people were elected in office move around like stars. We are electing them. I've just come here and I'm begging you to elect me. Then tomorrow is the president. The German chancellor came to, and the Merkel came to Nigeria with Lufthansa. The British Prime Minister came with British Airways. What do you mean? What are we talking? This person, Germany today is a country of 3.8 trillion, almost 4 trillion economy. You, who is 400, carries plane to his place. What do you think you're doing? You who is begging for money. And we do this as if, you go to Nigeria today, it is government people that were elected that are living large. People have private jet that daytime job. What kind of country is that? How can you? Can governor of California use 6 cars? You'll be removed the next day. You live in California. It's a 3.3 trillion economy, 8 times Nigerian economy. And the governor cannot use 6 vehicles. You go to Nigeria, where the entire country is 400 billion. A local government chairman now moves in convoy. They even call his wife first lady of local government. That is the level of madness. And we're all keeping quiet. So every day things are getting worse. We're all keeping quiet. My dear people, I want us to have interaction because I'm sure one or two of you want to ask me. But what I'm trying to tell you is that you can be part of this change. You can be part of it. Before I start asking the question, why? I know I will conclude after asking the question. But before I sit down, let me tell you. If we succeed, when we succeed, why did I say so? Because what we have seen over the years, you know, I told you about the pilot. What we have been so far every year that Peter Obi, Professor Tommy, I do remember him in my prayers, may he not associate himself. You know, he teaches management in school. And the worst thing a professor can do is to be part of a failed company when you're teaching management. He's a professor of political economy. So imagine when he is part of bad government. What is he going to tell the students again? That's the end of his lecture. So, what I tell people is that when we succeed, is when your job starts. Because what we do here is that we've all worked hard, like Chairman is working hard today, suddenly Peter is president. And everybody keeps quiet. And this man who says he's going to move power from here to here, he's not they're telling people his story, and they're listening to him. For God's sake, that's not what we discussed. We agreed something, it's a contract. You said you're going to do this. So, like I said, the man will now say, oh, when I came into the plane, it couldn't start. Or I'm going to take off. We are now going to Lagos instead of Toronto. But we had it for Toronto. Our flight is to Toronto, not to Lagos. For God's sake. And everybody will now say, they are challenging him because he's an Igbo man. That's an Hausa man. But that's not the truth. When we voted this government that is there now, nobody knew the tribe. Quote me, everybody believes it's going to solve this, it's going to solve this, it's going to solve this. Nobody, I'm sure those who followed him, 80% didn't follow him because of tribe. So when you start doing this, you start giving in school. Please do not be part of it. If anybody succeeds, he was put into office because of his promise. And we must insist. Please, if you know that thing you promise, do it. We might not put 100%. You might not achieve 100% of it. But what is 100% effort? We want to know that this vehicle is going the direction we agreed is going. Even if you don't get there within that time, we want to see it. We want you to wake up every morning and say, okay, not that Peter said, oh, we must cut costs of governance, we must do this. Suddenly it goes in there, because we had it. People who say they will sell plane, sell this, suddenly they are using the plane, they even go to more. You know, what happened? Then they'll tell you, oh, when you go in there, you know that there's influence, there's difference, there's charm, they tell you lots of things. What are you talking? You can cut cost of governance. It is simple. When I became governor, I looked at the budget of the office of governor. It was 3 times the budget of education. And I said, it cannot happen. We need to shut it down. And we look at our cost. We had a beautiful lunch in Abuja. What is Governor of Anambra State doing with the lunch in Abuja? My predecessor bought it for 1 billion, and we costed a lot to make. I said, what are we doing? They said, you know, civil servant, why are we going to have lunch in Abuja? There is in every other state. I said, that's not what I asked you. I didn't say, I know every state, but why? There was no reason. Except that the governor says when he goes to Abuja, why can't the governor stay in a normal hotel and pay 50,000? They said, no. I said, okay, shut it down. Why do we have to have a lodge, guest house in Oka, safe for the governor's visitors? What is the governor doing visitor for? What is it for? They have hotels. If the visitor come, you go to hotel and pay for it. There's so many things we then started shutting down. That's the same thing happened to office of first lady. They said, me and my wife live in the house, I'm very close and everything. Why create additional office for this? No. By the time we finish what we're doing, and I tell people, we found out how did I stop using long convoy? It was because of the cost of fuel. What we were paying to buy fuel, to do this, to do that, and everything. And I said, no, we can't be paying 13 million for this every month. There must be something. So one day on the road, I stopped everybody and said, I want to know how many vehicles people are inside here that is following me. From almost about 20 cars, only 5. And I said, from today, we need 5. No more buying on fuel. When I'm in the car, we stop, we buy fuel and pay the fuel. So we know how to get we didn't have money. And we found out that all these things, because what do? Everybody just says, oh, this is... So we will shut it down and bring it to the level of other people. I have traveled with the President of Australia in a plane. I've traveled with the President of New Zealand in a plane. There's nothing wrong in their sitting in business class. And he won't deprive them from being president. It doesn't change anything. So why must we have all these luxuries for a highly indebted place that is supposed to be fixed in a place? So when we win, please, don't go away. Don't stay too far. That's when your voice will be stronger. Because if we fix it, like I said, the first investors that will come back to stable Nigeria is you. That thing is foreign investor. It's you that will bring the foreign investor. My neighbor, I lived in England for 10 years. My neighbor is an Indian. He went to MSc, and guess what? He from UK, he went to build a factory in India. That factory was exporting their product to the UK. He was making money. He borrowed money like me in England, went to his place, built a factory. I was telling you how the Asians change their place. It is money they borrowed from here, money they made from here, that they invested. The difference is that you can't do it. Because if you go there and invest anything, they'll eat it. So, you need that place to change. Your money should be an investment home. That investment is supposed to help your hard work here. And then create job for people there. Not that you're listening, you're not a funeral director. We have to pay for everybody who died to bury them. No. You don't have to do this welfare. They have to be productive with your own resources. That is the work you are going to do. That's I said that brain drain will be a brain gain if we can secure. And what we need in Nigeria to do that? Security. If Nigeria is secure today, there's law and order, there's rule of law, there's human capital, there's power. 5 things. The rest is your job. There's nothing in America. What is pouring here, 50% of this country's GDP is intangible assets, which is just rule of law, security. That's the only thing. So you can drive around, you're sure that if anything happens to you, you can call police. You can go to court. Nothing else. That is 50% of your GDP. That's why everybody's coming. If we do the same thing in our place, you come back and invest. And that's what people like Pat are going around preaching that we will provide. Because we want you to come back and invest our money. We want you to help us to create that job. We want to be able to pull our people out of poverty. What we are going through today happened in Brazil, happened in Mexico. There's so many countries of the world that have gone through this. They didn't have to do anything. They just put right leadership and it was changed. So let your sacrifice not be in vain. My appeal to you is please, do not give up on Nigeria. You have no other country. We have no other country except that one. And we can change it. Election of 2023 will not be by tribe. It will not be by religion. It will not be entitlement. It will not be by any consideration, no connection. It must be based on character, competence, capacity, and commitment.
The audio from our, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a very wonderful night. This is the best of the best since Nigeria democracy. We've never had it like this. Listening to presidential candidates addressing the nation like this, especially in diaspora. Once again, I want to remind us that this is African Democracy and Policy Initiative that organized this event. The role of that are Nigerians, diaspora, and civic leadership. Beverly, the keynote speaker, Mr. P2B. Let's give it up to him, ladies and gentlemen. In this very hall, I know more than 1,000 people are here. But if you drop a pin during the time he was speaking, you will hear the sound of that pin. It has never happened. But today, in the city of angels, Beverly Hilton, it happened. And it will happen come 2023. Amen. the keynote speaker, Mr. Peter Obi, the chairman, Senator Anio Okonkwo, and the wife, Professor Pat Otomi, Chief Otomia, or correct here, Otomia, yes, Chief Wabez and the wife, Lady Laura, Dr. Machuku Anakwenze, Okalamado Okalamo, in the midst, Barrister Gago and the wife, Pastor Depo and the wife, all other protocols, with due respect, observed. We've listened to the presidential candidate of Labour Party, Mr. Peter Obi, on the role of Nigerian diaspora in civic leadership. It's left for us. Before we go on to question and answer, this is the time for us to have a little time interlude. I just watch the crowd. Anytime I am anchoring an event, I watch the flow with the crowd. You guys, it's so wonderful tonight. This is a very nice evening spent. We need, let's put our hands together, ladies and gentlemen, for all the diaspora. I know so many people are gathering here. Biko, can we sit down? We have time. I know we started late. So right now, I have the great honor and privilege to invite Prince Dr. Chris C. Ikanyi for question and answer session. Prince Ikanyi.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Please, we want people to leave the stage so that Mr. Obi will concentrate and pay attention to the questions. So please, take your seats. It's always a tough act to follow Mr. Obi, because after his speech, every other thing goes low. But I will try to ask some of the questions from you. He has answered many of them, but anyway, I will still ask them. I will take it 5 questions at a time. After the first 5 questions, I'll ask the first 5 questions, and you answer them, and then my very good friend, Dr. Cliff S. Eke, will ask the next 5. Here we go. The first question, Mr. Obi, as much as Nigerians in diaspora send remittances home that help Nigeria's economy, they should also be able to have a say in Nigeria's governance. What will you do when you become president to enable Nigerians in diaspora vote in Nigeria's elections? The second question is, how do you plan to course correct the country of Nigeria if elected? What would you do differently that hasn't been done in the past? Do you have plans to connect and bring in the next generation to the political scene? If yes, how? This is from one of the youths. The third question is, how do you anticipate tackling the environmental problems in Nigeria? And what plans do you have for displaced people when illegal structures are dismantled? The fourth one, millions of highly educated Nigerians are living and working in foreign lands, contributing to the growth of those countries' economies and paying taxes. When you take over as president, how will you stop this brain drain, reverse it, and make it easier for so many of us who want to return and establish to do so with ease and prosper? And the last one, on behalf of fellow diasporans living in other states who couldn't make it to California tonight, millions of Nigerians abroad don't have BBC and can't vote. My question is, when you become the president, yes, similar to the first one. So I'm going to give you the script, because I read them very fast, and we'll be waiting for your response.
Let me start by, again, thanking all of you for your sacrifice. But what I want us to do this night is, I know it's giving me this focus. Let me assure you, I know how busy you are, and I know how important time is to you. Because the structures know that if they vote, they will not vote for them. And I assure you, this is the last election that diaspora will not vote. Somebody asked, what are we going to do differently that we're not doing before? What I did differently was that we brought civility and order in governance. I told the civil servants when I started, I said, you came here and you called me His Excellency. You know the meaning. The meaning is that I should every day try to live an excellent life people should emulate. So my behavior, my character, my everything has to be something that is worth emulating. And we have to do the right things in office. So we're no longer going to do what. So what we're going to do different is that we will start doing things differently. We will start showing that government, the purpose of governance is to inspire people to have confidence, which is the hope, which is the faith they should have in their country. We have a country called Nigeria today, but we don't have people who are proud to be called Nigerians. Until we inspire them to have faith in Nigeria. And the only way to do it is so. What do you think will happen? Everybody will just go home and say, well, let me go and do whatever I like, whatever I get and see. So we need to do things differently. I've said what we're going to do in education and security. We must secure the country. And it is not as difficult as people make it look. Because like I said before, the more you put people out of poverty, the more you reduce the criminality. You must equip the security agencies. Nigeria is a country of 200 million people with 320,000 police. Just police. So are other security agencies. Egypt is 100 million. They have over 1 million police. We had the governor of Castina who said they have only 5,000 police. And if you go to a station, you see 30 of them, only 10 is armed. So even for that 320, only about 110 is armed. The rest are just there. Look, it cannot continue that. There's no reason why we cannot have state police. What we want is security. As governor of Anambra State, Anambra people are here. I pay directly from the office of the governor for vigilantes in the village. But after the experience in London, the place where they are building new structures in London to have power, deal with the issue of education and health. If we can tackle this and start pulling people out of poverty, it will go a long way. Millions of Nigerians who are educated, working in finance, have said what you're going to do is very easy to. When we start doing what we're going to do, you become an investor, not a welfare company. You be an investor because you are the ones we're hoping that will bring in the first set of investment we need. As for PVCs, like I said, you're going to vote, but I want us to spend time. The reason why they wrote this, wherever I go, they said, we want to control questions people ask you. And I asked my interviewer this afternoon when I came to California. He said he wants to regulate what people will ask me. I said, no. I want the people to ask me what they want to ask me. Where? You deal with it by consultation, by negotiation, by appeal. I said the thing is very peaceful to me. No. My children agitate, my wife agitates, and I plead with them. He said yes. I said yes. Don't think they're my children. I bring them up. I say, listen, you see me here with my wife, your mother. Yes. I want you people to learn. You see us celebrating 10 years of happy marriage, 20 years, 30 years. It's not true. We're celebrating years of surviving, pouring and recycling. And I manage it. The same way I will manage those who are agitated. We will discuss it, we will plead with them, I beg them and everything. I said, because if any of you goes, I said that to my children. If any of you goes, I'm the loser. Because they don't know you. So that's where you make people who agitate. You don't want them to go. You discuss with them. You make them feel comfortable. You put a seat for them on the table. Then they won't go. But when you push them away and treat them anyhow, they go. Now you don't say go away. If you say go away, what you get when they go away will be worse. So bring them closer and say to them. So we will deal with everybody. So if any of you have questions, free. Ask. If you have anything you want us to learn, we will learn. We are not in America. There's things that are happening here that you wanted to see happen in Nigeria. And I'll come back. Don't think that I'm going to go away. No. We will ensure that we use the talent and the energy of diaspora to build a better Nigeria.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, Bob. Yes, thank you. Isn't this wonderful, guys? Clap for yourselves. Beautiful. And let's clap for ADPI for putting this together. So I have some questions, Your Excellency. My name is Dr. Cliff Eke. I'm a general and thoracic surgeon here. And I have a lot of my mentors, physicians, nurses in the audience. And I want to ask you a health question. Very important. You know, health is wealth. Right? If you don't have your health, we can't talk about politics, we can't talk about good government. Yes. So how would you solve the healthcare problem in Nigeria, including infrastructure, access to care, medical education and residency training, exodus of doctors and healthcare professionals, as well as medical tourism. I'll let you answer that. I have more questions.
Again, I said, Doc, I've come to learn. So it's not every question that I've answered. Let me tell you, as governor of Anambra State, the Nigerian Medical Council, Doc, hope you listen. The Nigerian Medical Council shut down our University College of Medicine. And I asked them why. They said because we did not have a teaching hospital. So we got a school of medicine without teaching hospital. So I said, what will happen to the students that have 4 years? They said they can graduate as in biology, in chemistry, in anything, but they cannot continue medicine. And I said to them, what if I build teaching hospital in 2 years? They said it never happened in Nigeria. I said, please, give me a chance to do it. They refused, but the chairman of the council was the wonderful man, Professor Wayne. He said, let's give this boy opportunity. He saw it, I mean. So they gave me the opportunity. Plus, you know what I did? I invited all the professors of medicine from Anambra State. They came to my office, led by Professor Abu Akambu, and I said to them, I want you to do me a favor. This is what I'm faced with. I want you people to help me to design, do what we can do to build a college of medicine in 2 years. I'm not going to pay you people 1 naira. Nothing. You will help. This is your own sacrifice. You're a professor. I'm not. So tell me what I'm going to do. I can tell you they were wonderful people. 16 of them. They spent so much. Let me remember this professor from Nnewi and he's still in UNTH now. It was so contributory. And we delivered it in 2 years. In the fastest, or the Medical University Teaching Hospital, the fastest teaching hospital ever built in Nigeria. Not because of me, but we hire people because we have Prof. I know Mbono. Mbono was one of them. Mbono was the great person and Ababa who assembled the team. But there's a younger professor from Nnewi that is in UNTH. If you remember him, he was one they sent him, but they did it. If you ask Professor Mbono, ask Ababa, they will take you. They were more office every day. I said, I can buy you his lunch. But no. What am I saying? That's exactly what we want to do. You know John Willow? A Nigerian doctor that lives in Atlanta, John, can do to build a college of medicine in 2 years. I'm not going to pay you people 1 naira. Nothing. You will help. This is your own sacrifice. You're a professor. I'm not. So tell me what I'm going to do. I can tell you they were wonderful people. 16 of them. They spent so much. Let me remember this professor from Nnewi and he's still in UNTH now. It was so contributory. And we delivered it in 2 years. In the fastest, or the Medical University Teaching Hospital, the fastest teaching hospital ever built in Nigeria. Not because of me, but we hire people because we have Prof. I know Mbono. Mbono was one of them. Mboni was the person and Abaka who assembled the team, but there's a younger professor from Nnewi that is in UNTH. If you remember in his he was one they sent him, but they did it. If you ask for some Bono, ask Akwaka, they will tell you. They were in office every day. I said, the only thing I can buy you is lunch. But no. What am I saying? That's exactly what we want to do. You know John Willow? A Nigerian doctor that lives in Atlanta, John Willow, I don't know him. I was in Atlanta as governor, and I read in a magazine about a doctor who participated in heart surgery while the heart is pumping. And they wrote and said it's Joe Willow. Somebody said, oh, it's from Nigeria. So I ran into him. I said, where are you from? He said, it's from Anambra State. I said, Dr. Joe, if I go to your village and build a heart center, can you come there from time to time as part of your contribution to operate people? They will not be able to pay you what they pay in America. John Willow said he will use his connection to bring the equipment, and he will be coming there 2 times every year to do the operation for free. And he told me it will cost, they did not do design and say it will cost about 300 million naira. I wrote the check, gave it to a church-owned hospital in his village in Alafino. They built the health center there. As I tell you, it's the best health center east of the Niger. And John Willow comes there with his team, mostly foreigners, twice a year. Any of you can make inquiry. Very fine. So, when I said this, doctor, that's what we need from people like you. I don't know everything. I don't know. I said, yeah, I came to learn. I don't know everything. Anybody, leadership and learning is inseparable. Anybody that knows everything is an idiot. Don't work with this. I don't know everything. So we are going to do what is possible. But that's why I said that I'm going to use the brain of the people who are here to say, and it is so incredible. Most of you want to give it for free. All they want is for something to be good. That's why we must not. I must not come here. Look at some of you contributing for the election. Why would I come here, take your money, go and save public money again? You can't abuse grace of God. So we need people like you. We are collecting names. If I succeed, remember what I said, that if I will come here, they are going to come and say, come and help. Come and do this. If I tell you that what Tom is doing is one of those things that is rare, it's not because he's here. He's converted his house, everything into this project. Knowing how Nigerians work, I can become governor tomorrow and say, this Tom man is a very useless man. Why is he speaking English every day? I'm telling you, that's what they did in Nigeria. Once they study, the label those who help them to be there, wanting and don't want to see them. She found no came to pick me at the airport. He doesn't need that. But what we want to do is to have people who behave like human beings. That I came to California, these people supported me. They expected something. Why would I go and start telling them another story that when I got there, I met the snake who was stealing money. I should be able to do that snake. are sure there's a team part put together that is doing something on health. I'm sure, Prof, your team is working on that. All I will do, I assure them that whatever you people write here, Peter will implement. Where I can't, I'll come back to you people and say it's not going to work. This is the reason. But it's not going to work, it's not an excuse. The job of a leader is not complain, it's to find solution and offer solution.
Wonderful response, Your Excellency.
Doctors for Peter Obi, and there are many doctors in America who are part of that. We had a listening clinic 2 weeks ago, and they were speaking from all over the place. So that movement will become part of this transformation of the whole healthcare system.
And we're going to put in there. The doctors, they came on their own. And I told them, whatever you would decide. And that's how we have it in different sectors. Just tell me what to do, but remember what I say. And I told them that, don't go away. Because the problem is that, oh, we've elected him, you go away. They might start turning the whole thing upside down. That's where you stay. I keep reminding him,
Wonderful. And I'm aware of Doctors for P2B. A lot of my friends are part of it. And I would like to inform you that I'm the president-elect of the Association of Nigerian Physicians in the Americas. And we go a bit to Oga for missions. A lot of us here, we just went to Edo State. And we did over 300 operations and 10,000 patients seen. So we have work to do, and I'm glad you're open. All right. So I have a few more questions for the sake of time, and this time I will list 3 of them, and then you can address them the way you want, Your Excellency. So the first one is, how can we hold your government accountable when we have a corrupt, transactional legislature and judiciary? Because you said we should hold you accountable. So that's one. Number 2, how do you plan to remedy chronic inflation? Inflation in Nigeria is very high. And then number 3, do you have a plan to restructure salaries and compensations and allowances of Nigeria federal legislators? Since the typical Nigerian senator earns more than the US president. And finally, instead of subsidizing oil industry, are you considering subsidizing indigenous industries? Thank you.
He said, how do you hold the government accountable when you have corrupt legislators? Let me tell you. Remember what I said? You must move the country from consumption. The biggest assets of Nigeria today is the vast uncultivated land in the north. We have here agriculture and knowledge. These things are available in Nigeria. If we do it, I went to Niger State to see a prominent Nigerian. Niger State is 76.3 thousand. You can't see in Nigeria. They don't export anything. They expect to share of the oil money. Oil, which is a national asset that is finished. And our money is Niger State is 2.5 times the size of Netherlands without water. If you remove water, Netherlands is about 43 something, if you remove water, it's about 33 something. So 2.5 times. Go and check. Netherlands agriculture export last year was about $120 billion. If Niger State can do 1% of that, it's $1.2 billion. At the rate of 650, it's about 750 billion, 5 times the budget of Niger State. What are you talking about? We're not producing anything. It doesn't make sense. We are worrying today about Beverly State. Beverly State is 70,900 square kilometers of land. Sambisa forest that is giving us problem is about 60,000 square kilometers. That is about twice the size of Israel. What are we talking? And they are not doing anything. Israel export last year is 9 million people. So you combine Niger State, and surrounding, you get about 9 million people. The total land in that area, if you by the time you add everything, will actually be about 4 times the size of Israel, and they will be about the same population. Israel is about 9 million people, and they have only 22%. Their total export last year is $69.8 billion. So they have no export. If you divide it by per head, total export for Israel about 6,400. Nigeria 150. So, for God's sake, this country must be productive. We should stop wasting people's time. That cannot happen, and we have capacity to do that. So I don't think there's anything that is happening instead of subsidy. I've said it. We are not supposed to be importing fuel in the first place. That's where you start. And there's no building refinery, no rocket science. I said it today that if I'm president of Nigeria, we will not import fuel 5 years after. It's not possible. Because it is not rocket science to build refinery. The only reason why we are supplying fuel today is the criminality embedded in the structure that people are talking about. How can you spend more money in subsidy of petroleum product? The money we put in subsidy is higher than the money we budget for health, education, and poverty alleviation. And these are the 3 things that we use to measure development. And nobody can account for all those things except story. So, this subsidy, we'll deal with it. I assure you, it's not going to be easy. That's why I said that nobody was happy with me in my last outing. And nobody is going to be happy with this one. We will make everybody unhappy. But Nigeria will be happy.
The Diaspora is a magazine launched out of the need to make a clarion call for Africans to embrace their heritage, even in a foreign land. We live in a complex society now, and with it comes a need for awareness since there are limited African content magazines, especially in the Diaspora. The Diaspora magazine focuses most parts of its content on the African achievements, education, beauty, entertainment, and culture from the African perspective with the aim to shape and influence the African agenda. Stay tuned for the upcoming issue. We conduct one-on-one interviews, event coverage, business ads, promotional items, beauty pageants, and more.